Gon Freecss is one of the most unique protagonists in anime history. Some people see him as a refreshing change from the usually heroic MC, while others criticize him for being selfish, reckless, and even hypocritical. But one thing is certain, Gon is not a traditional protagonist. Unlike many shonen heroes, he's not defined by an unwavering sense of justice or a desire to help others. Instead, Gon is a child trying to navigate a dark and violent world, driven only by his personal emotions. He's not a beacon of morality, and to me, that makes him real. So, is Gon Freecss a bad main character, or is he one of the most realistic protagonists in anime? Let's break it down. But before we do, guys, for me, can you guys like, subscribe, drop a comment? We hit our goal of 1,000 in under a year, and I'm trying to hit 2,000 before May, so it would just mean a lot to me. Thank you. Now, before we judge Gon, we have to define what makes a good protagonist. In shonen anime, main characters usually follow a certain pattern. They have a clear motivation that drives their journey, whether it's becoming the strongest, protecting their loved ones, or seeking the truth about their past. They experience character growth, learning from their mistakes and evolving over time. The audience must feel an emotional connection to them, whether it's through their struggles, dreams, or personality. And most importantly, they have to have a strong impact on the story, actively shaping the narrative rather than being carried along by it. Now let's analyze Gon through this lens. Gon is not your typical hero, and to me, that's why he's great. He's the most realistic take on a shonen protagonist. Most anime protagonists are written to be more forgiving, kind, or idealistic than real people. Naruto forgives mass murderers on multiple occasions, Luffy will befriend anybody who gives him food, and Tanjiro shows sympathy for demons who have slaughtered entire families. Gon, on the other hand, reacts like a real child would in a cruel world. He sees things in black and white, which is common for kids. He deeply values his friends, but is capable of being selfish. He doesn't care about saving the world, he only cares about what matters to him. If you throw a 12-year-old into a world filled with assassins, criminals, and monsters, give them power and remove moral guidance, Gon is what you get. His determination is inspiring and kinda terrifying. Gon is pure willpower. He isn't the smartest, the strongest, or the most naturally talented, but he refuses to stop no matter what. During the Hunter exam, he pushes himself through pure hell to pass. On Greed Island, he trains obsessively to win, and in the famous Chimera Ant arc, he sacrifices everything for revenge. That kind of drive makes him compelling, even if it comes with its consequences. His bond with Killua is one of the best in anime. Now, we all know when the MC and their best friend are interacting together, that can make or break a series. And with Hunter x Hunter, it for sure makes it. Gon and Killua's friendship is the heart of the series. Gon is the light in Killua's life, while Killua is the only one who sees Gon for who he truly is. But even here, Gon's flaws shine through. He doesn't realize how much Killua actually suffers for him. Okay, even though I think he's a great MC, it's time to be transparent and talk about the other side. Despite everything great about Gon, there are major reasons why people think he's a bad protagonist. Number one, he's a massive hypocrite. Gon has one set of rules for himself and another for everyone else. When Kite is killed, he demands revenge. However, when Killua wants to be cautious, Gon calls him a coward. He gets furious at Knuckle for showing sympathy towards Yuppie, but he showed the same sympathy towards Gentru earlier in the series. He's best friends with Killua, a literal assassin, and has no problem with it, but calls out the Phantom Troop for killing innocents. He was mad at Gentru for killing, yet has no problem when Killua does it. Because of Pito, he even threatened to kill Komagi, an innocent blind girl. Gon only cares about people he personally likes. If it's not his problem, he doesn't care, and honestly, that's what makes him dangerous. Number two, he doesn't have a strong moral compass. Most shonen MCs have a sense of justice. Gon, not really. He doesn't kill for fun, but he has no issues with revenge. He doesn't care about being a hero or protecting innocent people. His emotions dictate his actions way more than any moral beliefs. Gon will let bad people go if they aren't personally bothering him. Gon was fine with letting Benoit go free after using him to train, despite the fact that he was a serial killer. He did end up saying that he would turn himself in, but Gon had already made up his mind before this. He only cared about his personal relationship with him, and not what letting this killer go free could result in. This is why his breakdown in the Chimera Ant arc is so terrifying. He isn't fighting for justice, he's fighting because he's mad his friend was taken away from him. It's pure rage, or in other words, he's crashing out. Number 3, he's reckless to the point of being a liability at times. Gon isn't just impulsive, he's stupidly reckless. He nearly gets himself and Killua killed multiple times, he ignores advice from people smarter than him, and his decision to sacrifice himself against Pitou was pure self-destruction. He acknowledges this by saying, quote, "I don't care what happens to me now," and also wanting all the power he'll ever have. It just comes down to the point that a great protagonist should drive the story, but sometimes Gon just reacts, he's just there. Now, I'm not saying I necessarily agree or disagree with any of the things that were just listed, but those are most of the talking points that I've been seeing around the way on why people don't like Gon. And some have a little bit of validity to them, and others kind of feel like reaches, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So now let's take a second to compare Gon to some other anime protagonists. Let's start with Luffy. Gon and Luffy have very different approaches to the world. Luffy fights for his crew and for freedom, while Gon fights for himself. Luffy inspires others, and Gon really doesn't. But is that a bad thing? If you don't want One Piece spoilers, skip to this timestamp. I'm gonna wait a second, I'm gonna wait another second, I'm gonna wait one more second. Alright, so as somebody who's fully caught up with One Piece, like leaks and all, we find out that Luffy basically is a personification of like a freedom fighter, like a liberator. Like Luffy's entire character, down to his devil fruit, is about liberating, saving, and freeing other people. That is his character. Those were Oda's intentions when he was writing Luffy. Now Gon, on the other hand, I think is supposed to be realistic. That's the way I think real people would react. If you put a kid in there, an emotionally insecure kid at that, and gave the little dude superpowers, this is the result that you would have. Alright, so when it comes to Naruto, that brother has more forgiveness in him than there are stars in the sky. Haku and Zabuza were literally killers for hire. Gaara was partially responsible for the death of the president. Pain nuked the village and off both your senseis. And Obito is the reason you're an orphan. I don't remember if Naruto actually knows that, but I know he knows he's the reason why a lot of things went wrong in the ninja world. And also, Sasuke was a literal terrorist. A realistic, sane person isn't befriending all these people regardless of the "I could have easily been them if things were a little different" that they overuse the hell out of throughout its entirety of Naruto. But all that aside, Naruto and Gon contrast in their growth. Naruto evolves past his flaws and becomes a symbol of peace, sort of. And Gon, on the other hand, never truly grows. He just breaks. Eren Yeager and Gon start off in similar places, idealistic but reckless. The difference is that Eren evolves over time, gaining perspective and adapting to the world. Gon, by contrast, never matures. Gon is a child in a world meant for adults, a good kid in a world meant for monsters, an innocent person corrupted by his surroundings, and that's just the sad reality of it. So, after everything, is Gon a bad main character? My opinion, the answer is no. Gon is an experiment in writing. Instead of making a hero, Togashi made a protagonist who feels real. He's not a leader, a savior, or an inspiration. He's just a kid trying to survive in a cruel world. This is why he's one of the most divisive MCs in anime history. If you want an inspiring protagonist who grows into a hero, Gon isn't for you. But if you want a realistic, flawed, emotionally unstable protagonist who feels human, Gon is one of the best. What makes him so compelling isn't that he's a perfect hero, because he's not. It's that he's a realistic one. He's selfish, hypocritical, and reckless, but again, that's what makes him human. Unlike other shonen protagonists who are guided by unbreakable ideals, Gon is a child struggling to find his way in a brutal world. His journey isn't about becoming the strongest or saving the day, it's about how power and trauma can shape a person. Gon isn't supposed to be a perfect hero. He's meant to be a raw, honest portrayal of what happens when a kid is thrown into a world meant for monsters. You turn into one. And that's exactly why he's one of the most unique and unforgettable protagonists in anime history. But, as always, that's just my take. What do y'all think? Does Gon deserve more credit, or do his flaws hold him back too much? Let's talk about it in the comments, guys, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. As always, thank y'all. 3 Kage Summit, out.